Hello everyone, my name is Ron Romley. I'm the Vice Mayor of Chino Valley and also a major supporter of this transit system. I want to thank all of you for coming, taking the time out of your day, especially you people that had to come from Prescott and Prescott Valley and go around the accident that's happened down around the roundabout. This is going to be our grand opening and our ribbon cutting ceremony for the system. Several people have worked very hard over the past year or so to bring the means of this public transportation to Chino Valley. Chino Valley was very lucky in the FTA, with the FTA grant. It allowed us to utilize our 2 buses over there that we already had, so we didn't have to buy any new buses, along with the volunteer drivers. This grant allows our volunteer drivers to be able to help us with our match. What that means is anytime you get money from the federal government, you have to put something back. So our match is usually around 20% because we have volunteer drivers. Their time is multiplied out and it is counted towards our match. So it's worked out very, very well for Chino and our budget. Talking about the volunteer drivers, we have approximately 12 drivers. And even though our drivers are volunteers, they have had about 30 hours of training, and they're certified to drive the bus safely. They can help the disabled get on and off the bus, as well as how to administer first aid in case a passenger is experiencing some health problems. These volunteer drivers are certified in all aspects that the federal government requires. Therefore, as a passenger on the bus, you can rest assured that the volunteer drivers who will be driving you places that you want to go are well qualified to drive the bus safely. You can identify many of the drivers by the yellow shirts. It looks like that's about 40% of the people here. But we have other people that have helped us that we have shirts on today. At this time, I'd really like to recognize some of our elected officials who have joined us today. I had name tags on a lot of them, and they blew away or something. I don't know what happened. But Mayor Jim Bunker is not going to be able to attend today. His wife just called me and said he wasn't feeling well, and so he's still in bed. That's what she said. He might have had a light night last night. Councilwoman Linda Hatch, is she still here?
No, she landed.
Okay, she was here. She has a Peace Corps luncheon she had to go to today. So thank you for her support. Councilman Dean Eccles, there he is, all dressed up, and Councilman Carl Tinney, all Chino Valley. We'd also like to introduce somebody that we're really glad to see back is the Mayor of Prescott, Marlon Kirkendall. And also, we're glad to see the Mayor of Prescott Valley, Harvey Skook. Is there any other elected officials that I missed? I didn't think so. There are a few people that we asked to join us here today that have been very instrumental in the success of our transit system. The first person I was going to introduce was going to be Jim Bunker to give you about a 5-minute talk about our system, but he's not here. So I would like to introduce Mike Norman from ADOT. He is the Director of Community and Grant Services. Mike and his staff is our direct contact concerning the grant and has provided us with clarification as how to properly run a bus system in accordance with the federal regulations. ADOT has supported this transit system even prior to applying for the grant. They came to us and said, you guys are prime candidates. We'd like to see it out here in Chino Valley. So we took the step and did it. I'd like Mike for you to come on up and say a few words.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And thank you, everybody, for turning out. It's a beautiful day up here. I just want to say a little bit more about what we do at ADOT with our transit program. And one individual that's been very instrumental is our rural transit program manager, Sam Chavez, who's worked with Vicki and Chris and Jason and some of the other folks up here to get things started. So he couldn't be here today, but I'm glad to be up here and really glad to see such a big turnout for this event. And we help transit systems all over the state. Right now we've got about 20 rural and small urban communities around the state that we support with the Federal Transit Administration grant funding. And we're proud of all the systems that we support. They're doing great things in their community, and they're all different. They all have to approach how they do transit a little bit differently depending on the size and the characteristics of their community. But I can say that all of them, even the larger ones, started where Chino Valley's at today with a couple of small vans, usually just starting with services for the elderly and people with disabilities. And then as their communities grew, their transit system grew as well. And they've been at this for 20 or more years, a very well-established system. So when you look at the system up in Flagstaff or Sierra Vista or Lake Havasu City, they started like Chino Valley starting today. So anyway, I commend Chino Valley on taking this step to start a transit system. The other thing that I think is great about what you've done here is the amount of community support. The Vice Mayor mentioned the volunteer drivers, and they couldn't do this without you. So really, applause to the volunteer drivers for doing this. It takes a lot of things to make a transit system work, and some of the most important parts of having a successful transit system is community support. Support from your elected leaders and support from your communities, and again, I think having volunteer drivers help get this program off the ground is a key part of that support in making this system successful. So again, thank you everybody. Thanks for what you've done to get transit started here in Chino Valley. And keep up the good work, and we're looking forward to many years here in the future of a very successful system. Thank you.
Really appreciate Mike coming up. He drove all the way up from Phoenix today to attend this grand opening. So let's give him another hand. Okay, our second speaker today that we have is a personal friend of mine, Mr. Chris Bridges. Chris is the Executive Director for SIMPO, or the Central Yavapai Metropolitan Planning Organization. Chris and his staff, Vicki and Jean, guided us when we first started in the grant process, and they have been great to work with. And they're still working with us very closely, especially Vicki, who is one of the transit gurus of the area. She has helped us a lot. But anyway, Chris, would you like to say a few words?
Well, I had a prepared speech, and Mike and Ron just took everything I was going to say. But I just wanted to echo and commend the town of Chino Valley for starting up this system. It's been a lot of hard work in a very short time, Jason. You've worked your tail off, to say the least. And I did want to also recognize Vicki and Jean, and Ron kindly did that for me. But we have put a lot of time and effort as a region trying to help out Chino Valley as best we could to make this a successful system. And we too look forward to this operating for many years to come. And congratulations. Thank you.
One other person I'd really like to recognize is Jason Kelly, who is the transit director for the town of Chino Valley. Besides myself, Jason has been right up front since day one, and now he's got that as a full-time job. So Jason, thank you. Before we, a little toot on the horn there, that's good. Before we close this portion of the program and go to the ribbon cutting, I want to remind all of you that this service is for all the citizens of Chino Valley. Sometimes it kind of gets lost, and a lot of people think that, well, it's only there for the aged as well as the disabled, and that's not true. We want everybody to ride it. If it fits in your plan, then that's what we need to have. Gasoline is now hovering around $3.50 a gallon. And if you're over 60 years old or you're disabled, you can ride the bus for $1. So it doesn't even make sense to fire your car up to come to Safeway. And we do have people that just go to Safeway, do their shopping, and we pick them on the next trip around. We have a lot of the stuff in the brochures back there. We'd like for you to take some, see where the route goes. We have 2 routes that are in Monday and Wednesday are here in Chino, and we circle Chino. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays we go into Prescott, and we stop at the on Gail Gardner, the Walmart. And the reason we do that is because that's where City Bus meets us. And if you want to go some other place that we don't go, then they can get on the City Bus and run around Prescott. So we have had a lot of people. We also stop on that route at the hospital. So we've had a lot of people that have utilized it to go visit patients or visit relatives, and then we pick them up and come back. So take a good look at it and at the brochure and see if it works. Tell your friends about it. At this time, I really want to thank Dean Eccles for displaying his 1928 Chevy Depot hack. You've seen it out there. ADOT wasn't involved in that one, but that's our 1928 First Transit truck. As well as Susan and Mike Toby, Sherry Romley, Eric Spurgeon, Jason Kelly, Darrell Croft, and Nancy Hall, as well as many others, including the drivers, for all the hard work that they put on this event. Now I'd like to invite you to come on over to the bus. We're going to cut the ribbon ceremony. While you're here, look at the buses. You're more than welcome to walk into them to see how what it's like inside. Also, how we hook up the wheelchairs. We have a ramp that goes up and down. If you hear somebody that says, I really can't climb those stairs, that's what the lift is for. And our drivers are well educated on how to work that lift. We've done it through mistakes. Figuring out we don't get it up quite far enough so we can't start the engine or something happens. There are so many safety things built in these buses, it's unreal. But anyway, walk around, take a look at the buses. If you want us to see how we work the lift, we'll be more than happy to show you how to work the lift. And then after that is done, then you can go over here. We've got hot dogs, we've got chips, soda pop, we've got a cake, we've got anything that you want. Except money. We don't have any money. But anyway, thank you all for coming. We really do appreciate it. And we hope this transit system stays in Chino for a very long time.